chapter 5C or exercise 5C, in which I go through and translate and point out all the infinitives and how the infinitives, which are verbs that do not have a subject, are working with or helping to complete the meaning of another finite verb that is the main verb of the sentence. So let's go ahead and go through them. Ego, as you can see, is a new word down here meaning I, kuro, run. And so we see now that we are now adding another ending instead of T meaning he, she, or it, or an NT meaning they, or an S meaning you. An O on the end of a verb now tells me the subject is I. I run, I am running to the garden, towards the garden, quod, because I want, wolo, vexare. This is our infinitive, which you can recognize by a long ARE or a long ERE or a short ERE or a long IRE. This particular kind of verb requires a long ARE. I want to annoy Davus. And here we see, if I were to say I want, we want to know what do I want? And so the infinitive helps to complete the meaning of that finite verb that does have a subject, wolo, with that ending O, subject I. Number 2, ego, I do not climb the tree. And again, you do not even need the words ego in number 1 or 2 because that O on the end of kuro and that O on the end of ascendo tell me that the subject is I. They are just there for emphasis, meaning I run in number 1 and I climb in number 2, or known ascendo, I do not climb the tree, quod, because, nolo, a new word down here, I do not want, I do not wish, cadere, another infinitive, to fall. If I say I do not want, you would want I do not want what? I do not want to do what? And that would be cadere, to fall in rivum, into the stream. In plus a word that has an accusative am, or in this instance, as a second declension word, or an em, the in is going to translate into. So, the infinitive cadere. Quod dies est calidus, because the day is warm, to you prepare. Paras, as you can see, is a new word for prepare. Again, it has an S ending. Because that verb has an S ending, we really don't even need the nominative subject to be expressed there because it's in the verb. So when it is there, it is merely emphasizing you are preparing, you are getting ready, errare, to wander. Another infinitive, long ARE, prope rivum, near the stream. Number 4, lupus ad vilam furtum appropinquat. The wolf stealthily approaches, is approaching, does approach, ad vilam, to or towards the country house. Servus eum repellere non potest. The slave, non potest, is not able. And again, the infinitive repellere, to drive off or to repel him, referring, of course, to the wolf. So the slave is not able, and you want to know is not able to do what? And so again, the infinitive, the verb that does not have a subject, and we express it to whatever, works with to complete the meaning of another finite verb, which is potest. Number 5, sextus, non vult, does not want, and you want to know what does he not want? Well, of course, here's the infinitive to tell us, descendere, to climb down out of the tree, quod, because the wolf scares him, terrifies him. Number 6, ego magnam arborum ascendere timeo. I fear, timeo, ego, I fear, and timeo here, of course, has the O ending, telling us the subject is I, to climb the big tree. Now note here as well, arborum is a third declension noun. We normally do not know the gender of third declension nouns because some of them are masculine, some of them are feminine, but in this sentence number 6, we now know that arborum is feminine because it is modified by magnam. And when an adjective modifies a noun, it has the same case, accusative, therefore magnam is accusative, number, singular, therefore magnam is singular, and gender. Arborum is feminine, so magnam is feminine, and that's what lets us know when we don't originally know that arborum is. And again, ascendere is our infinitive, and when I say I fear to do what? And thus the infinitive does not have the subject, but helps to complete the meaning of timeo. That's why we call them complementary infinitives. Subito, suddenly, a statue falls into the fish pond. In plus an accusative am is going to be into. Clamat pueri, the boys shout. So the statue falls, boys shout. This is an actual literary device called chiasmus. that makes a pattern of A, B, B, A. If you think about the subject as being an A and the verb action as being a B, you then have a verb action, B, and then a subject, A. This pattern is called chiasmus, and it shows contrast. And so A, B, B, A, chiasmus. Number 8, puer lupum conspicit. The boy spots the wolf. He grabs the branch. He prepares to drive off, infinitive, completing the meaning of parat, and thus complementary infinitive, to drive off the wolf. In number 8, we have a literary device that is known as tricolon crescanes, in which you have 3 things that build up. The boy catches sight of the wolf. He grabs a branch. He prepares to drive off the wolf. And so in that way, it's a crescendo. Tri-3-colon crescanes. Crescendo. It builds up, and that's what we have with the series of 3 things, tricolon crescanes. The other thing we have is a literary device called asyndeton. Asyndeton is an instance in which you are not going to have enough conjunctions. There's not enough ands here. And so when you have asyndeton, it is an emphasis by the author to make it to where all of the actions or all of the items are grouped together as a single thing. And in here, all these actions, he wants them, or she wants them as the author, to make it to where it seems as though the actions happen almost simultaneously because you group them together by using asyndeton and then not having enough of those ands. And thus they happen spotting, they happen grabbing, they happen preparing almost all together as a lump, as one thing. So again, tricolon crescanes, the 3 things, and asyndeton, not enough conjunctions to group together will be actions in this instance, or it could be grouping together individual items. Number 9, if the day is warm, Marcus wants ambulare. When we say Marcus wants, we want, what does he want? Well, here the infinitive completes the meaning of that finite verb. Remember, finite verbs have a subject. To walk into the forest, in plus an accusative, into, ubi, where he is able, potest, and again, another infinitive, sedere, to sit, properibum frigidum, near the cold stream. Again, the infinitive is recognized by a long are, like ambulare, by a long ere, like sedere, a short ere, like in number 6, ascendere, and then also a long ire, which you can see down here with the new word, exire, in number 10. So, nolo, subject, I do not want. Exire, to go out. Into the garden, in plus accusative, into, because I want lavorare, to work in the country house. And again, these infinitives are helping to complete the meaning of these finite verbs that have a subject. I want. Well, what do I want? I do not want. Well, what do I not want? Well, I do not want an action to go out. What do I want? An action to work in the country house. So hopefully you have a better understanding of infinitives and also perhaps those literary devices that we saw in number 7 with chiasmus and number 8 with tricolon crescanes and asyndeton. Good luck.